Forever. Dog.
So as we were sitting here going over our notes, we watched the new M. Night Shyamalan trailer that I believe just dropped today. Or yesterday. Today, Trap, with Josh Hartnett. What'd you think? First impressions.
First impression is M. Night's up to his old tricks. We have a plot with stakes. Serial killer is put inside a big concert and the police surround the concert. Can he get out? And then M. Night just cooks for like an hour and 1/2, 90 minutes. It's going to be great.
When M. Night took his kids or his nephews or grandkids or whatever to the Eras tour, this is what he was thinking about the whole time. What if there was a serial killer amongst us? I love it. I cannot wait. And I have to say, I said it on the Oscar special. He actually got one of my nominations. Josh Hartnett is back, baby.
He's so back.
He is back.
And he looks great. And
he looks incredible.
I'm so happy to see him. Now he's a dad. He's always been a daddy. But now, Brett, a dad.
He is. It must be the best thing for an actor when you get your like late period, weirdo, no rules.
Yes.
I don't have to play Teen Idol shit.
It's so nice.
I can just do fun shit. So he's done Operation Fortune, which is what I nominated him for, which was so much fun.
Yes.
We also have another Guy Ritchie movie coming out this weekend.
I'm loath to see this.
All right, we'll talk about it. This week on Movies, baby, Civil War. Alex Garland's Civil War finally came out. Joe and I saw it. We're gonna review it. Plus, we're ranking the top 10 A24 movies of all time. Will Civil War make the cut? You'll have to listen. Stay tuned to find out. We're also going to do some indie picks for you this week in case you're hitting your local cinemas this weekend. It's going to be a great show. Joe, are you ready?
You know it, Brett.
Well, then let's not waste any more time. Margot, roll that theme song. Oh, there it is.
Drive a little faster, everybody.
I can't get enough movies, baby. I can't get enough movies, baby. But how about you? Do you have it bad too? Whenever one ends, it's like the death of a friend. I get to wishing that there were 2 more reels. But then a voice cries out, "Move, baby, you're in my seat, and you don't want to mess with who the Philly movie freak."
I can't get enough movies, baby.
He's obsessed.
I can't get enough movies, baby. Yes, it's true. Oh, I've got it bad too.
He's got it bad.
Every night of the year, like the moon I appear at all the hottest movie theaters in town. Cut to black, roll credits.
Roll credits!
Whoa, baby, I'm lost in a fog. I need someone to talk to. Hey, it's the Georgia Movie Dog.
Can't get enough movies, baby.
I can't get enough movies, baby.
Can't get enough movies, baby.
Yeah. Welcome to
There it
Movies,
is.
Baby, the weekly show where we break down the hottest movie news, review the latest releases, shout out forgotten classics, and prophesy the future of Hollywood. I'm Joe Cilio, a.k.a. the Philly Movie Freak,
you.
and I'm here, as always, with my co-host, Brett Boehm, a.k.a. the Georgia Movie Dog.
Go Dogs! And I, of course, am mourning the end of another Atlanta Hawks season. It came and
R.I.P.
went, nothing to show for it. Except more misery and futility, but that's okay. I'm used to it at this point. But this isn't a sports show. This is a movie show. And Joe, if you were going to the movies this week, there's a high probability you were going to see Alex Garland's Civil War.
I would.
Because this thing, we'll talk A24 later on when we do our top 10 rankings, which is going to be a bloodbath. Yeah. I don't know how we're going to do that.
We're picking 10. Only 10.
Only
top
10 between us. An official
together
10 for the show.
For this podcast, 10 A24 movies of all time. Brett, Civil War, we saw it this week. Will it make the list? Before it gets to the top 10,
will it make the list?
I need to know where you are on this thing.
Now, before we even get to the movie review, Margot, can we take a look at the box office for this weekend when we get a second? Because this movie This was A24's. A24's had some big movies, as we'll see.
Yep.
Indie stuff, but some big indies, some big high profile, incredible trailers, high anticipation indies. This was their biggest opening of all time. And that comes off of Neon's biggest opening a couple weeks ago, IFC's biggest opening a couple weeks ago.
That's right.
The indie movie studios are raking it in right now, and I could not be happier for them. So Civil War finally dethrones the franchises. Godzilla moved down a seat. I mean, still brought in 15.5 million in its what, third or fourth week at this point. Ghostbusters is still there. Kung Fu Panda still bringing it in. Dune still bringing in some money. Monkey Man, I mean, a 60% drop.
Not in love with it.
So look, Monkey Man didn't do great, but it's at 17, basically 18 million domestic. I believe Universal and Monkey Paw bought it for 10 million. So look, it's going to be a financial success. It's going to end up being not like an absolute game changer, but hopefully they give Dev another shot based on how torturous the sort of post production was for that movie. Because all things considered, they got to give Dev another shot because
Dev's one of the most exciting new directors we have.
People made their money. Yeah,
and he showed all the chops in the world.
That's right. That's
whatever.
Right. That's
they
right.
give guys that made a fucking Burger King commercial. Tron.
Thank you.
Give Dev another movie.
Give Dev another movie. First Omen, on the other hand, not so good. Another slow week, and it's only at 15 million domestic off a $30 million budget. That's not a good sign. Not a good sign.
We won't get a second Omen
because we enjoyed that. The Shrek 2. See, now we're doing. This is going to be a big year for re-releases. We got The Mummy. Do you think Phantom Menace re-release tops the box office?
I don't know if it's going to top, but it's going to do very well. Re-releases are interesting, and people already are doing these in the same calendar year. Part 1 and Part 2 seem to be a new strategy for studios.
Yeah.
We have The Strangers coming out like that, Horizon coming out like that.
Right. That's
so
right.
Re-releases and Part 1 and
Margo.
Part 2s, I feel like we're going to see a lot of.
Yeah, I agree. But let's talk about the number one movie of the week, Civil War. Now, Joe, high stakes for you because Civil War was your number one draft pick we have here.
I put a lot of faith in Alex Garland when we did the 2024 movies draft. It was my and the draft's number one pick in the draft. I said
that's right.
The movie Brett and I are going to enjoy the most this year coming out is going to be Civil War. Putting my faith in Alex, and we're going with Garland. We're going with the Civil War. So
and as
Brett
we said, off of Men, he had kind of because Ex Machina. Huge, right?
Yeah,
big hit. Everyone loved it.
Yep.
Annihilation, a little more of a subtle kind
but
of.
Everyone loved it.
But my favorite of the Garlands, my favorite Garland. Everyone loved Annihilation. And then Men was kind of a. I had some. We did. I should say for our Patreon subscribers. A, thank you very much. B, there's a new Watch Along Wednesday up for you Patreon subscribers. I watched The Dirt Bike Kid with Peter Billingsley.
Okay.
Spoiler alert, loved it. Maybe one of my favorite kids movies of all time.
Yeah.
We got to do a screening for Enzo and Sandy when they get a little older because this movie has great messaging and it's super fun. It's a kid and a dirt bike, and in order to save the local hot dog stand, they take on the local police. They take on the local banks. It's kind of crazy. It's like class warfare and a dirt bike and hot dogs. It's great. But I was saying on that or on last night's Watch Along Wednesday in the chat. There were some Men apologists, some people who liked Alex Garland's Men. I would love to hear from them because I'm down to sort of rethink Men. But the bottom line is it didn't really do that well financially or critically. So this was Alex Garland needed a bounce back, and financially he got it. But critically, Joe, you got to be honest. I know it's your first pick, but you got to be honest with me. What did you think of Civil War?
I thought Civil War was excellent. I really liked Civil War. I liked the direction he took. First of all, I like the irreverence of the concept of distributing this film in 2024 in election year. Out of the gate, I like that choice because it's dangerous and scary and bizarre. And Garland is the man for the job. He's the jock Jonathan Glazer, and he's going to do his weird genre pieces the way he's going to do them. And I want Garland doing our weird Civil War. He does Civil War great. I loved the performances in this movie, and not just because I'm a Kirsten Dunst stan. Kirsten's always great at standing around watching the end of the world, and she does so wonderfully in this picture as well. I thought she brought all of her gravitas and emotion. She's a wonderful film actor actress, and that's not derogatory. That means that she just has control of every muscle in her face. And when she's thinking something in the back of her head, you can see it coming through her eyes. I love you very much, Kirsten Dunst. It had a bunch of great performances in it that I liked very much, led by Kirsten. So what's the movie about? Just to say it, Brett, sorry. A group of, everyone knows,
journos.
Texas and California team up to fight the burgeoning fascist government run by Nick Offerman, and a team of journalists and photographers go into the rough parts of the country to drive down to Washington, D.C. to take a picture of Trump getting shot in the head. And they want the kill shot and they want the money shot. That's what they're all about. That's their Moby Dick, and they're going to drive to D.C. and get the picture of his head exploded off. That's the plot of the movie.
The plot of the movie.
This is what happens in the movie.
Yeah.
So I really liked it. Now, let's talk about a little bit about what Garland does before we sort of like break it down. But some of the elements of this movie, sort of like dystopian vignettes of violence throughout different parts of the country. We see like a collection of horror stories, essentially, of things that we might encounter in the future if we ever were to do the second Civil War. We have a ton of soft focus camera work. It's about photographers. It's about photography. It's about war photography. It's about art and art mentorship and collaboration in an interesting way. But he does a lot of it in this like jarring soft focus where everything's distorted except sort of our characters or whatever Garland sort of chooses, until he goes into these expansive, gorgeous IMAX wides where he shows us sort of dystopian highways full of cars or beautiful areas that have a plume of smoke burgeoning through the trees, all very eerie. I thought that it was paced well. Let's just get right to like the politics of it. A lot of the conversation this week on the internet has been people criticizing Civil War's politics, and more specifically, its lack of politics. Because Garland, the movie takes place at the end of our future Civil War, it's uninterested in the how we got there or the why we got there. People seem to be confused about who's on what side. Like Nick Offerman's like, got a big dumb hair with a big red tie, and he's got a big dumb Trump line about how he's the greatest in the world to start off the film.
But he's not doing a hard Trump.
No, he's not doing a hard Trump. But does everybody need everything to be like fucking 1,000,000% given to them? Like, obviously, it's suggesting a Trump-like figure could rise to prominence, and he could use the military, you know, or rewrite the Constitution, or we don't even know what he did in the movie. And people didn't like that. They want everything to be in our culture war, everything to be boiled down into a polemic, everything to be like a guide for moralists or a guide for this and that. And what Garland does is give us a portrait of what the Civil War is probably going to be like. It's going to be a little boring. Nobody's going to know what they're fighting for. A lot of people are going to be able to lean into urges that they didn't know they wanted or that they couldn't express before. It's going to be scary. It's going to be ugly. And the worst part is nobody knows going to know what to do or who's on whose side or what the point is or why we're killing each other. It's going to be a slog. It's going to suck. And we're all going to love it. In Civil War, the journalists get the biggest literal hard-on sometimes. They are thrilled at the prospect of violence. They live for it. I don't want to give spoiler alerts. They love violence. The soldiers love violence. The civilians love violence. Everybody loves violence. Everybody loves their artistic goal. Kirsten Dunst asks herself, she's a war photographer, why did I bother to take all these war photos if nobody was going to listen to me? And the answer is because art isn't about changing the world. Art is about self-expression, or in Kirsten Dunst's case in this film, some version of self-therapy or something. All the characters are selfish. They are all worried about their own survival. They're worried about the next minute and if they're going to stay alive. And that's exactly what happens in real world conflicts, something that America's not ready for. America thinks that when we do the Civil War, everyone's going to be the hero or everyone's going to be the villain. What's going to happen is nobody's going to win anything. And nobody's going to be a hero, and no one's going to make a good decision. It's going to be a moral vacuum full of crazy people that only care about their self-interest. Alex Garland is an Englishman, and unfortunately, look, we all hate the English, I get it, but they have us dead to rights a lot of the time. And in this one, Garland has us dead to rights. We are self-centered, obsessed with individualism, and that's why I really loved his camera work in this film. It was so claustrophobic and so selfish. Everyone's obsessed with their own image or their own shot. Very, very good. As far as the scares in the film go, I found a lot of wonderful terror pocketed throughout the film, but I just want to highlight one scene, Brett, and then I really want to hear what you thought about the movie. Thank you for letting me go.
I love it.
But a scene that I particularly loved is our 4 journalists drive into what they've left violence and scariness, and they've entered all of a sudden into like a universal backlot. It's like a beautiful Gilmore Girls sort of set, and one character asks, I feel like we've just driven through like a time warp, and what we see is, Haddonfield. We just see like Americana, Leave It to Beaver. They get out of the car, they go into a store, they're all completely and totally baffled, and behind the counter is a woman, and the journalist, in his arrogance and in his sneering liberal sort of way, asks the woman, don't you know there's a big civil war going on?
There's like a pretty huge civil war going on.
There's a massive civil war going on for like years and years. And then she, in her sneering, miserable, self-centered, cloistered center of the country sort of affect says, like, we don't really concern ourselves with these things. We're staying out of it, and to the journalist, it's disgusting. And to her, they're crazy for, not being sensible and hiding from it. Then there's a wonderful bit where Kirsten Dunst wears a dress, and then she's reminded of she can wear a dress, she can smile. It's great work between her and Kaylee Spenny, who's a great actor. But then when they leave the store, what they and the audience then realize is this whole entire perfect middle of the country, which is going to happen. People are going to hide during the Second Civil War, and they're going to hide out in Montana and say it's not happening. But who's on the roof? The fascists with the snipers, because it is undergirding every single thing. And whether you're in the thick of it for your own selfish reasons or you're out of it pretending it's not happening, all of those decisions are underlined by the fact that you are playing politics, you're being self-centered, and you're not being I don't know. Weird movie, good movie. I really liked it. I liked it a ton. There's like a bunch of like the when the action scenes go down and the journalists are running around, he has like sort of like irreverent makes it sound like I like them. Crazy, like feed drops that create this weird distance, but really it's all in the service of everybody's in their own head. Everyone's obsessed with their own story. And everyone is in this country is thrilled by their own image and by violence. I loved the photography. He made that movie for $50 million, Brett.
Wow.
That thing looked fucking great.
The Insider cost like 65.
I know. yeah. And Ricky Stenicki cost 50 as well.
Oh my God.
Anyway,
this is Stenicki money. This is the Stenicki budget.
So that's
impressive.
That's my first impression of it. Everyone come to the theater and is like, hey, movie, this has to change everybody's mind. This movie, Alex Garland, a Brit, has to prevent the Civil War. That's absurd. That doesn't make any sense. It's a premonition. It's a blustering bet. And this movie is going to age, unfortunately, very well. And if the Second Civil War, which I don't think is going to happen because we're all lazy as shit, but if it were to happen, it's going to be a lot more like this movie than any other sort of triumphant, whatever the fuck you think it's going to be. It's going to be nihilistic, ugly, rotten. This movie's rotten to its core. It's ugly and it's not fun. And I thought it was really good and kind of brave. What'd you think?
What'd you give it on Letterboxd?
I gave it 4 stars.
4 stars.
For chutzpah, for rottenness, for Kirsten Dunst, for beautiful photography, for weird-ass soundtrack, and to win the thing. No, I'm kidding.
No. Well, Joe, I want to start. I saw Civil War last night, 2 nights ago. I saw Civil War 2 nights ago, so it's had some time to simmer, and I wanted to start out with something I liked about Civil War, something that I enjoyed about Civil War, which is that we get these 2 scenes that are straight out of Deliverance. There's two menacing rednecks scenes. There's of course the one that with Jesse Plemons from the trailer with his red sunglasses, and we have red sunglasses on today. There's another one early on where they sort of stop for gas, and then this redneck with an AR-15 takes him over to some burned out car wash, and he's got two looters strung up inside the car wash, and they're slowly torturing them to death. Both these scenes are incredible because they are a brief adrenaline shot in this movie of real menace and real personality, villainous personalities, but real personalities. And Plemons' performance is remarkable for how just... this character has seen, they're literally digging a mass grave as they are stumbled upon, and then they get into it with our main characters and so on and so forth. But Plemons' performance is phenomenal. He is just has some sort of slight semblance of politics because, as you know, in the trailer, he asks, "What kind of American are you?" So some sort of thin shred of politics, but this is really someone who just lusts for violence and death and wants to take it out on, because the thing I love about the other redneck scene in the car wash is this redneck who's clearly tripping on something. He's on some drug or something, and he's just got an AR-15, and he's just shooting anything that he feels like. He mentions that one of the guys went to his high school, and I was like, that's such a good detail that's going to come out in the if there ever was a civil war, that right. People are suddenly going to get to shoot their neighbors, and all the sort of hidden resentments in our lives will come spilling out and boiling over. That felt very real to me. That felt very real. And Plemons had that same energy where this is a guy who is just he was probably 2 weeks away from becoming a mass shooter at a Walmart, and he's like, "Oh, great, a civil war! I can do it legally under the Geneva Convention." Except he's not. He's committing every war crime in the book.
He's covering corpses with lime.
These two scenes in particular, I wanted to shout out as being just so full of tension and menace and personality, and I was on the edge of my seat, and I was just almost just sort of petrified, because the other thing that I really liked is I saw it in IMAX. The sound of guns going off in this movie is bone shattering. You feel it in your body every time one of these assault rifles goes off. Oh my God, you feel it in your bones. You feel it so deeply. It's so terrifying. And after the first one or two, you're sitting there in terror in the movie because you're like, "Oh my God, is a gun about to go off?" Because I want to be I don't want to be caught unawares because I'm gonna have a freaking heart attack in this seat in this movie theater.
Right.
Because these things are they'd shake you to your core. So the sound design, the action sequences, the tension, particularly in those two moments, I thought was really well done. Unfortunately for me, these moments were very few and far between in the movie. And I want to dedicate this review to Jesse Plemons because I give you credit, sir. You tried to make this movie interesting.
Whoa.
You tried to bring some actual sort of menace and personality to it, something that we might see in a better directed movie. But unfortunately, Alex Garland said, no, sir. This is not a movie that's interested in being interesting, so you only get one scene and then you're out of here. So this is dedicated to you, Jesse, because I know you tried. Civil War is ultimately a sort of boring morass of nothingness for me. It leans into the messaging that Joe described, this sort of nihilism, war is a pointless hell, nobody knows what they're fighting for. But this messaging did not feel like it had the courage of its convictions. It did not feel the kind of theme that a director was dying to tell. You know, when a theme has clarity and it has nuance. It felt like this was a theme that Garland sort of ended up with because he had nothing to say. And so what does a director do as their last resort? They lean into the nihilistic, nothing means anything, no one knows what they're fighting for, blah, blah, blah bullshit. But to me, that theme arose from a vacuum because this movie kind of had nothing to say and had such a sort of painful, almost cringy non-understanding of American culture. Besides the two redneck scenes, which are film tropes at this point, so you can just pull the redneck scene straight out of Deliverance. Other than that, though, there's this kind of vacuum where American culture and society should be in this movie, and we don't get a lot of it. I don't really know. To me, the whole thing about nobody knows what they're fighting for, and they never really clarify what the sort of combatants are going at. You get these hints that it's some sort of inevitable result of our current climate. Some character at a point literally references the Antifa massacre, and I was like, "Oh no, Jesus!"
Why is this such a fucking problem for everybody? What that tracked for me? Antifa massacre. Okay, that sounds like something that might happen.
It's
why is everyone mad about this?
I guess because here's the ultimate problem that I think this problem stems from.
Okay.
Is that telling this movie through the point of view of this traveling caravan of journalists is, I think, the most boring way this story could have possibly been told. There is an interesting movie somewhere in the middle of, somewhere deep inside Alex Garland's Civil War is, I think, an interesting movie, and we see signs of what it could have been in the Jesse Plemons scene and in that gas station car wash scene. But unfortunately, these journalists are so deeply boring as characters. Their dialogue is terrible. It's full of like weird exposition, and Kirsten Dunst, is taking this younger journalist under her wing, and there's supposed to be some sort of dynamic, some sort of mentee-mentor, tenuous relationship between them. Kirsten Dunst doesn't want to mentor the kid, but then sort of feels compelled to after they spend more time together. And to me, all of this just felt boring. I was just so bored by the journalists, and really? Unfortunately, the journalists are exclusively our POV in this movie. Mm-hmm. We see everything through their eyes, and they are because these journalists are ultimately dedicated to a sort of dead-eyed objectivity, right. It prevents you from getting a read on anything. And so there's no that's why when Jesse Plemons came, I was like, finally someone who believes in something and has a point of view and a personality. These fucking journalists who are so hollowed out by war, that they Kirsten Dunst, unfortunately, I cannot believe I'm about to say this, all the main performances besides Plemons in this movie felt off to me, and that includes the Queen Kirsten Dunst. I can't believe I'm saying that. I don't hold her responsible for this because we see what she can do everywhere else, but Garland did not know how to direct her, did not know how to get the right performance out of her. She's trying to do this stoic, I've seen it all war journalist thing, but it ultimately reads as, again, just sort of nothing. There were so many moments in terms of the characterization and the themes where I felt like they were trying so hard to sort of not do anything because they didn't want to sort of tip their hand, or, they ultimately wanted to lean into war is pointless, but you still have to give me something. And there was such a hesitance to do anything with those main characters or do anything with the themes that you end up with kind of nothing besides some really killer action sequences along the way. And so that was a big problem for me. I wish he would have figured out any other lens. I was expecting much more of a sort of Altman-esque sort of we're bouncing around between different characters thing. I thought that was going to be the way the movie was constructed, but we are almost exclusively in the POV of these journalists the whole time. And after a couple minutes, I was like, please, Andy, can I see this from anybody else's perspective? I would really love that. I have more to say, but I'm gonna let you
just on that point. Just to go back. The journalist thing, they are four archetypes of types of journalism. That's fine, but I didn't mind the frame. It's on one hand, it's okay, yeah, well, that's a good way to get from point A to point B while literally having to be objective about what the image is that you're seeing. And I just disagree a little bit. I disagree with you about the performances. Thank you. I just wanted to interrupt you and tell you I disagree.
I know, I see you steaming over there.
No steam. Okay.
I like all the actors. I like Wagner or Wagner Mora, who we've seen, I think, in television in the
I don't know what he's from.
Pablo Escobar, Narcos, right? Narcos. He's in Narcos. Exactly, yes. Duh. And then Kaylee Spaney, who I know you like, from Priscilla. Stephen McKinley Henderson, who of course is always great, but the lines they made Stephen McKinley Henderson say, who's amazing, are just so plotting and oh my God. I just it's the performances were off, I thought, because the dialogue, to me, a lot of it felt like it was written by Max Fisher from last week's movie Rushmore. It had that, if you've seen Rushmore, Max Fisher's high school plays, and that's fun for campy stuff like that. But there was so much just war journalism, just sort of self-serious dialogue, too much expository kind of dialogue, too much like stiff, overwritten dialogue. The actors had a hard time selling the dialogue, and then combined with that, there were so many scenes where actors had to do like silent screams, where they're like screaming in such anguish, but they're not like giving you the audio, like Al Pacino's famous Godfather 3 silent scream on the stairs.
Like Kirsten Dunst
right?
at the end screaming against the wall.
It's just I felt that it felt so unearned. I didn't know like
I was like
these characters like feel that deeply.
She's standing next to the White House and there's a fucking bomb going, 7,000 bombs going off.
Right, but this is a character that for 90
but her
minutes
friend just
we've been
died,
told.
and this was her. So like her friend died. She played it cool.
Right.
Like she was like I'm fine with it. Whatever. This happens. This is my job. And then she was overcome at the worst time. And
exactly. I don't get it. Like, why was she?
Because it was
like she's been in every. Like we saw flashbacks of her previous war experiences. She's seen some dark shit all over the world,
dude. She just lost it. But then
fine,
she pulled herself together.
I don't buy it.
Like Embiid last night. She pulled herself together. And she got
one of those two people pulled it together.
She got the job done.
They were just not performances that were credible to me or interesting, and it ultimately had to do. I also love that Wagner Moura's character, he like smoked like an implausible amount of marijuana in the first 30 minutes, and then it was like,
where'd he get
to go back to the Max Fisher analogy, it was like when like a kid in a high school play has to like pull from a flask, and like you realize that he's like doing it way too much because he doesn't know what a reasonable amount of alcohol is. Wagner Moura smokes like an absurd. That was before his friend died. He smoked an insane amount of. But these are just like he
drinks and smokes too much.
Everything you're saying sounds fine from a distance. I'm telling you, watching the movie beat by beat, all of this falls apart. The characters don't feel believable, but their big crime is not that they're not believable. The big crime is that those journalists are fucking boring. They're fucking boring. I got like halfway in, and I was like, our exclusive POV for your big spanning Civil War movie is three war journalists.
Sorry,
can I get some other person?
Who cares?
It's
a movie about war journalists.
That's kind of it's a movie about nothing, and you're saying it's about war journalists because there's nothing else to pick from. Why is a movie about America's impending civil war about war journalists?
You want to see more like you want to see. What do you want to see? You want to see like the mayor and then like all the peoples in town and how they work and such. And then you liked the redneck scenes.
Yeah, I like the redneck scenes a lot
because that reminded you of like this movie didn't have a lot of America in it.
They felt like terrifyingly real people.
In years 4, 5, and 6 of the Civil War, there's no more American like lines or people to be like. There's no more types of people. There's just the
I don't know if that's true.
I'm afraid it might be true.
Yeah, but it's so weird to say that with complete conviction because maybe not. Like maybe people burrow deeper and deeper into their cult identities, and maybe they become more. Well,
some of them do.
Of their beliefs.
Some of them do.
Who?
Jesse Plemons and the other.
My favorite performance. Which is on the screen for 20 minutes.
The fucking movie. It's an hour and a half long. How many minutes do you want? 20 minutes is a lot.
What did I start my review with? I said I liked Plemons. That's the thing I started with. That's the very first thing I said. I like Plemons, but Plemons is not. Also, Plemons was only in this movie because like the other actor dropped out, and then Kirsten Dunst convinced him to do it. So that's my. So it's not like
there's lots of in movie making. There's lots of things that happen that make the movies good or bad. That's not like a point against the movie because someone dropped out and they got Jesse Plemons in it. That's good.
You can't say that a character actor doing what is in essence a cameo, and doing it well means that the whole movie is good.
I like the whole movie. You're the only one saying that it's all about the Plemons. I like
right, but you're asking me why I did not like the movie if I liked Jesse Plemons' performance, and I said because it's a small part of the movie.
It's fine. But what I'm saying is, right, like but you just wanted to see a movie about Jesse Plemons' character. What did you want?
I would like two very disparate things. Okay. It's weird to do this like near future dystopian movie about America and then make it but then what you actually wanted to do was like a sort of hyper realistic movie about war journalists. So I would like to see.
But that's what it's going to be.
Alex Garland. You don't know that. It's so weird to say that's what it's going to be. You don't know what it's going to be.
America loves thinking that when it happens here, it's going to be oh so interesting and different. Sectarian conflict around the world is the same. It's the guy wrapped around with a tire getting lit on fire. That's just it. And when it happens here, it's not going to be special because some people are red and some people are blue. It's going to be fucking flat and miserable.
Yeah, but this
because
isn't
that
like,
is what happens.
But this also isn't like Threads or something. This isn't a movie that made me like scared to my core about the realities of war, because it was just a little too boring ultimately for that in terms of its characterization. It just sort of falls. The middle falls out of the movie because there's no central dramatic engine that's interesting to me. There are cameos that are interesting to me, but the journalists the journalists bored the living hell out of me.
There were 4 psychopaths that were hell-bent on getting a picture of Trump eating a fucking bullet. It was a pretty exciting.
They weren't presented as
psychopaths,
thrust. Though.
They are, though.
Yeah, but they're not. It's not executed. I mean, like, it's fine on paper to say that, but it's not. You can't tell me that like Kirsten Dunst's character played as psychopathic.
She's so fucked. We see all the things that she's seen,
right?
And you can't understand why she breaks down at the end. She's. I
thought she was a psychopath. Which one is it? Does she have empathy or is she a psychopath? See, the whole thing, these characters are confusing.
I think that as time goes on, people will see that there's a lot more like wisdom and insight and fun in this movie than we're perhaps viewing it with now. I just have faith in the storyteller, Garland, and I also have faith in what I saw. There were some pretty excellent images, and I also have I also just think that it's not, he didn't know what he was doing or what he wanted to say. I think he wanted to let us know that it's going to look a lot like it looks everywhere else, and we're all going to love it. I think it's interesting. I like the movie.
I did not like the filmmaking either, because I thought, minus like, look, incredible gun sounds, action sequences, all of that was done really well. But all of the little touches, all of the little auteur touches to me played really false. There was montages that seemed straight out of a HeGetsUs.com commercial in terms of how sort of corny and like cross-section of American-y they were, or the American landscape. There were several shots that had this awful shallow focus that made it look like the characters were zooming into a work meeting with their background blurred, and I was like, why? I guess they're isolated and like disoriented or something. Exactly. But the scenes where he used that effect weren't consistent with that sort of. I just could not read like consistent like artistic vision anywhere. That's my ultimate problem. I could not like I tried to latch onto a theme, and then it would sort of dissipate and become contradicted by something in a performance or something in the messaging of the movie. There was way too much suicide on the soundtrack for how tepid and toothless the movie is. It's not punk. It was trying, like, the soundtrack is sort of like punk, post-punk, and the movie does not read that way at all. Alex Garland's one original idea in the movie, if he has one, is, hey, what if White House Down had a no-wave soundtrack? But it's the kind of original idea that's only original because it's incoherent and no one would think to try it. I don't get the point of it. It does make for some very cool scenes of helicopters coming in over a burned out New York sort of landscape to the Silver Apples, which is cool in theory, but I think only because the Silver Apples and Suicide are cool, not necessarily because the movie's good. I do give it 1 star for Jesse Plemons and the redneck at the car wash. Those 2 scenes were fantastic. I give it another star for how the gun sounded in IMAX and how the action sequences were executed. Otherwise, Civil War for me was a stinker, and if this is what the real Civil War is going to be like Joe says, kill me first. 2 stars. Joe is so pissed. You do. All right, here's a question.
What?
Is there any part of you that thinks I'm being dishonest because there's a competitive aspect to this?
No.
Okay.
No, of course
right,
not.
Because I'm telling you the absolute truth.
No. That's why I'm mad.
Do you want me to like this? Is this a movie you want to like share appreciation with me?
Oh, I just thought I want to share appreciation of everything with you. Period.
The chat is that's very sweet.
No,
I agree.
But
I agree. It does it's fun to argue. It's also not fun to argue.
No, I know
it's kind of both.
Or the chat thinks we're.
But we have to be honest. No, the chat loves it. They want us to lean into our Siskel and Ebert era. They fucking
want us
love
to
it.
wrestle on the fucking.
No, they
floor.
think like Atlanta and Philly are having an actual civil war right now.
No, Brett and I just disagree about the movie, and we just care about movies, so I'm all shaken up.
You're gonna get passion and honesty from us, and occasionally that will lead to infighting. It is appropriate that we chose the Civil War for that, and then we also chose to do our A24 top 10. This is gonna be a bloodbath.
Shall we?
Let's get into it. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's already 6:45. So let's.
Are you serious? All right, we'll blast through.
Yeah. My indie picks. I'm just gonna shout them out. It's just gonna be shout outs. Yeah. All right, let's get in this because this is gonna. Oh boy, can we do this in 20 minutes? Do you think?
I know we can because there's only 20 good A24 movies.
There are so many good A24 movies out there. You know, throughout your life, if you're a movie fan, there's always that one big indie sort of small studio that makes all your favorite movies. In the 90s, it was Miramax. If you saw a Miramax logo on a video in Blockbuster, you were grabbing it, baby, because you know at least it was going to be interesting. Focus Features, Sony Pictures Classics, of course, IFC Films still doing the damn thing, Neon, but the big daddy Annapurna in recent memory, all that Larry Ellison Oracle money going to a good cause, entertaining us with great movies. Recently, though, A24 has risen above everyone else to make just the best American independent cinema out there. And they're a studio. They have money, but you know what I mean by independent. It's not so much a financial thing as it is an aesthetic thing. A24 is making the best in America and some international independent cinema. And we're going to try to rank. You can look up the list. We're not going to list them all because there's too many. But if you want to like pull up on Wikipedia, there's a list of all the A24 movies ever made. We're going to go through and try to come up with the top 10. We have to come up with one list. So Joe and I have to mend our differences.
No, we will though. I know we
have to come up with one list. So Joe, what I wanted to let's I've kind of tiered them out here. I've got some honorable mentions. I've got 1 through 10, but I have like my 1 through 10 is still like 13 movies.
Right,
so so let's start with 10, 10, 9, 8. Sell me on some 10, 9, 8s. What's like just cracking your top 10?
Okay. Here's one. I'm going to start with an olive branch.
Yes.
Down here around 8, 9, 10, I think this podcast, also just because we host it and it's our opinions, I think Dix the Musical has to be on the list.
Ooh, I like that.
Dix the Musical is the fucking best. And I love that A24 even bothered to make it at all. It cracked us up. That's one that I might have around there, Brett. Some other like...
Because part of this list is also about representing the variety of movies we get from A24. They do horror, they do comedy, they do prestige drama, they do it all.
Right.
I've got Dix I have Dix at number 10.
Okay, me too. All right, first one on the list. We're putting Dix there, okay?
Now, I have, at number 10, I will say, I have Dix / Green Room. I don't know why I combined Dix and two movies that could not be more different, but just felt like in their own way, on their own islands, outliers. Green Room, if you haven't seen it, I watched it just yesterday. I'd never seen it before. I freaking loved it. So I might have a little recency bias.
No.
But the plot is fantastic. The violence is just overwhelming. But the plot is amazing. Punks fighting Nazis in a club outside Portland. That I think it's a little bit of recency bias. I'm going to knock that back into my honorable mentions. I think Dix goes to number 10.
I like that very much. I mean, really, honestly, 10, 9, 8, it's all a matter of, I don't know what, like, or maybe I hate to change up the bit midstream, but should we start with like sure fucking things? Like, here's like a bunch of random ones.
I only have 4 certain things.
Here's some other like things that I think could be on the list.
Hit me with your 8, 9s, 10s. I'm going to tell you where they fall for me and we can go from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have Priscilla. I have like 9.
Okay.
And I have Zone of Interest around 8. Zone of Interest could also be 1 though.
Yeah. Do you also have because Glazer also has Under the Skin on A24, and I don't think we should put 2 Glazers on here.
That's what I thought until I thought about it, and like, what if those? But just to think about, what if those 2 movies are just 2 of the top 10 best A24 movies ever made? Like, yes, like Brett, like we might put 1 down for now, but like we have to remember, like, oh, I really liked whatever First Cow. It's like, yeah, I know, but Zone of Interest like is better than fucking First Cow, and Under the Skin's better than many movies.
And
ever.
They're so different, so it's like,
I don't know. I mean, I'm just afraid that. Okay, look. So those might be on at
Zone
the bottom.
of Interest was literally my first honorable mention. The only reason it's not my top 10 is I didn't want to put 2 Glazers because I have Under the Skin at number 4. Under the Skin is a high
4.
Rank.
Yeah, it'll be up there.
Under the Skin is a high ranker for me.
What about Moonlight? Like 9.
I have Moonlight at 3.
Okay. So it's going to be on the list. It's going to be on the list.
So it's all right. Well, that one we can then put on because it's 3 for me, 9 for you. Let's split the difference and put it at 5.
Great.
All right. So Moonlight at 5.
Yeah, that seems correct. Or wrong. I mean, or it's number 1. You know, like Moonlight's good.
They're all going to feel low because they're all classics. They're all going to feel like they're not getting their due.
Okay, did you like First Reformed?
I'm obsessed. I did. I liked it a lot. It's that's in my honorable mention tier 1. It's in my first set of honorable mentions just because here's why it doesn't crack the top 10.
Okay.
It's a little bit of like almost like a Boy Who Cried Wolf thing with Paul Schrader, where he does guy writing in journals so many times. and so many times in like an underwhelming way, you know, like in the Oscar Isaac's movie, The Card Counter. And I mean, it's in like, and he already did it in Taxi Driver, you know, like it's like, and then we're going back, like we're always doing guy writing in Journal.
Time, yeah.
So it's almost like you do it too many times. Of course, it's gonna work out sometimes, but he almost does it too much.
Okay.
Like First Reformed is like too much like Paul Schrader's bad movies. That it like it like it has the tropes of his bad movies.
Sure.
That it kind of like, I'm like,
Religion.
I almost like don't want to reward. It's like,
but Hawk makes like. Hawk and the main character make his whole.
I like it a lot.
His 6 things all. All right, look, we'll leave it there for now. Look, I
leave
know
it right outside the top 10.
What about on? You know, we're gonna have to put an Ari Aster on here. Like, and I know you like Bo.
Yes.
You're not obsessed with Bo. I think Bo should be on the list. I bet I'm just putting words in your mouth. Bo wasn't on your top 10 Ari Aster pick, right?
No, I have
Midsommar.
I have Midsommar at 5.
Okay, fine.
Midsommar to me is the best.
Fine. I will put Midsommar above Hereditary. Let's put it at 6.
Midsommar at 6.
Yeah.
I love that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, let's find out here. Let's start by which do we have in common in our top 10s?
Right.
And those are definitely going on.
Well, here's one that might be controversial, but like for me, it has to be on the list. Is Lady Bird.
Oh no.
Brett,
I'll fight you to the death on that one.
No, but this is me being a good person for once in my life and understanding
that's not how we do this.
Ladiesburg is actually good.
You think it's actually good?
I think it's 5 fucking stars. I love Lady Bird.
Sell me on Lady Bird.
Oh my God. You know, there's a lot of coming of age movies, but sometimes when they actually work, they actually fucking work. The 2 performances in that movie are absolutely stunning between Saoirse and the mother. And our guy from Civil War's in it, and he's so funny. And Timothy Chalamet is so good in it. It's charming. It's funny. It saved Dave Matthews Band with that amazing crash part.
God,
it's Greta Gerwig's only good movie, and I just think it's emblematic of A24 in this era.
I'm tempted to do it for Laurie Metcalf, who's
yes. Oh my God,
I love Laurie Metcalf.
Amazing in that movie, dude.
And Tracy Letts is really fun in it.
Lady Bird. Okay, look, because you're saying we have to like honor all the different parts of A24.
Yes.
Greta is like, she is one of the beating hearts of everything they'd ever want to accomplish, and Lady Bird is her masterpiece par excellence.
Damn, I don't even have Lady Bird in my top like 30.
Par excellence. Okay, well then, let's sit on that for a second. Here's one we definitely have. You have Uncut Gems on your list, yes?
I have Uncut Gems at 2.
Fine.
Is it 2?
I have it at 3. So
all right, we'll put it at 2.
It's one of those.
Yeah, let's put it at 2. Because Moonlight was my 3.
Okay, fine. But then I have a 3. I have a 3 to pitch you then.
Well, you have. Well, okay. Tell me what your 3 is.
Well, my 3 was Uncut Gems. My 2 was Ex Machina. Where's Ex Machina?
Joe?
Don't tell me it's not in your top 10.
Not my top 10. Not my top 10. Not my top 10.
What's your fucking top 10?
Here's why. I had such a poor experience.
What's in your fucking top 10?
Watching
Spectacular Now?
Watching Charles Swan, the first one.
Right.
Look, here's the thing.
The fuck?
I thought Civil War was such a miss.
I almost put it at 10.
It made me reapproach Alex Garland's.
You're doing a bit.
And I because I did it honestly. Annihilation still stands for me, but Annihilation is not an A24 movie. Annihilation, I think, is still a Stone Cold classic.
Not on the list.
Ex Machina is great. I have it in my first tier of honorable mentions. But like,
what do you have?
All right, fine.
Tell me.
Well, I think.
Wait, I want to know what you have.
Okay.
What do you have? Florida Project. We're both gonna have that.
All right. I have Florida.
That movie's amazing.
I have Florida Project at
1.
Number 1. Florida Project to me is just like, if you haven't watched it, or if you watched it and you forget, rewatch Florida Project.
You don't have Under the Skin above it? Under
no.
the Skin's your movie, I thought.
No. I went back and thought about this really carefully. The movie I had the most profound experience watching out of all these, even more than Uncut Gems, is the Florida Project for me. Florida Project is number 1.
Yeah, I agree with you. Number 1.
Wow. We got Florida Project at 1?
It's not my number 1.
I thought you wanted Spring Breakers at 1.
Spring Breakers is my number 1.
I put that at 1. I think because I rewatched Spring Breakers today.
This is the best movie.
It's the most A24 movie.
Okay, thank you.
It's the most. Right. It is like, that's American culture. That's what I wanted in fucking Civil War.
You the Alien, just like
the Brits don't
just
get
dragging Selena Gomez around.
You know what? You know how I can sum up Civil War in one sentence?
Yeah.
Do you remember that tweet that was going around where it was like, when Creed performed at that Cowboys game, and Scott Stapp's running around with like the Cowboys jersey on, and there's like Cirque du Soleil going on, and he's just singing higher, and that guitarist with like the soul patch is going crazy, and the tweet was just like, the European mind can't understand this. That is Civil War to me. That's the problem with Civil War. It has so little American culture in it. He gets close with the rednecks, but he just ripped that out of other movies. Spring Breakers is American culture. It is A24. That's going to be at number 1. We can't put Florida Project at 2. That's 2 Florida movies.
Fine, we'll put it at 3.
3. All right.
And, what? Uncut Gems 2?
Uncut Gems at 2.
Okay, but to put a cap on it, the Florida Project is amazing, and it's not even my personal favorite Sean Baker movie. That's Tangerine.
But it's not
one
A24.
of my top 10 favorite movies of all time.
Red Rocket's great too.
Yes, but
this guy doesn't miss.
That is A24, but that's
that's not
going to be Florida Project. My number 1 pick on my list too was the movie Harmony Korine's Spring Breakers. Not only was it one of the greatest in-theater experiences I ever had, Brett, because it is Americana. I saw it in a packed theater opening night in Paris, France.
Wow.
And all of the kids in my screening were aghast and agog at looking at what fucking America is. And you know what they wanted at the end? They wanted to dance around with the fucking ski masks on and go live in Florida, because that movie is so perfect. I love it. Brett said it earlier today. I'll agree with him. Uncancel James Franco. No, I'm just kidding.
I said that as a joke. I said that as a joke.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, that's my number 1 as well. That movie is incredible. I've been talking about it ever since I saw it.
You know who's also a scumbag? Harmony Korine.
I love him.
We're talking about movies. They're all fucking scumbags.
1 Spring Breakers, 2 Uncut Gems, 3 Florida Project.
That's a great top 3.
True.
That's a great top 3.
Brett, okay, I'm very happy with that.
Here's here's what's gonna happen with Ex Machina.
Yeah, talk to me.
We're gonna each gonna throw a movie, and then in midair they're gonna hit each other and explode, because neither of us are getting either of these movies on this list. You're not getting Ex Machina in the top 10. Sorry. And I know I'm not getting 20th Century Women in the top 10.
Oh God, well say your eulogy now.
20th Century Women is is such a sad, hallucinatory, beautiful movie. Annette Bening, my favorite actor of the 21st century, Annette Bening gives her best performance of the 21st century in 20th Century Women. Finally, Annette gets a movie around her to make a killer performance in. She's amazing in American Beauty. Unfortunately, the movie sucks. She was great. She was great in Being Julia, but it's just sort of it's just sort of like a weren't the 20s great kind of movie. Not really. 20th Century Women is the one movie, it's like an artifact. I wish I could encase that movie in glass so that it never disappears or goes away, because at least for one moment in time, Annette Bening gave a performance that was a great performance that was in a great movie. Her performance is respected by the movie and contextualized correctly by the movie. She is the movie. She is the movie. She's not playing sidekick to Kevin Spacey. She's not doing a big showy sort of period piece thing that almost feels like an SNL sketch. That is Annette Bening. Everything that I love about Annette Bening come alive in a movie. Mike Mills crushed it in 20th Century Women. The supporting performances are great too. Billy Crudup is so funny.
All right, I've respected your take long enough. Now I'm going to be rude.
Wow.
That movie absolutely stinks. It's like looking at Instagram from 2011. It fucking blows. And also, by the way, I'm sure if you watch it now, if it was saccharine then, can you only imagine the dynamics and the slog it must be to watch them now? So Brett, that's fine. Now what movie? I'm not getting Ex Machina.
You're not getting Ex Machina. I'm not getting
just because you're mad about Civil War.
Look, no, because we each have to sacrifice. You feel very strongly about Ex Machina,
Brett.
But look, here's the thing. I love Ex Machina. I love Ex Machina.
All right. I needed to hear
look at the top 10.
I needed to hear that.
I was not trying to make a point. I'm not trying to take it out on Alex Garland for how bad Civil War is. I literally here's what happened. I had the whole list. As I'm going down the list, I was like, oh, Ex Machina, slot that in. I'll put that at number 6. And then it just fell out. And I was like, I don't know what to replace it with.
Right. Okay.
I don't even have 10 in my top 10. I've got 13 in my top 10 right now because I've squeezing 2 in on one line.
I accept your devil's bargain. It's fine.
Right.
20th Century Women's not going anywhere near our list.
I love it.
Okay, now where are we putting? Oh, we already put Midsommar on there. That was a good decision.
I took out Ex Machina with 20th Century Women.
All right.
You did it, baby. You did it, Annette.
Okay, can I see the list? Where are we right now?
Right now, we have Spring Breakers at number 1. We've got Uncut Gems at number 2. We've got Florida Project at 3. Moonlight at
blank.
5, Midsummer at 6, and Dick's the Musical at 10.
All right, tell me some more on your list, Brett.
Okay.
That you're thinking around 8, 9, 10.
I have, let's see. At number 8, I have either The Witch, Robert Eggers' first movie, or a very underrated movie that I was profoundly affected by when I saw it in theaters, The Green Knight. David Lowery's movie, medieval adaptation with Dev Patel. What a impossible movie to pull off, and
I've never seen it, so I can't pick. But
okay, I'm fine. The Green Knight was like, I just kind of wanted to shout out The Green Knight. I don't ultimately think it's top 10 caliber, only because it doesn't have like. The only thing it's missing is like some really like killer moments. It's a very sort of like it's a little slow, it's a little atmospheric, but oh my gosh, that movie casts a spell, and I was entranced. I was entranced.
It's got Dev, my guy.
I've never seen like Arthuriana done well in a movie, like King Arthur mythology stuff. Nobody ever understands the sort of pagan roots of it all. They never understand the sort of deep Celtic mystery of King Arthur, and this movie gets it to a T. It is so good. It is such a beautiful, sad meditation on the inevitability of death, and I loved it. And I highly recommend it. I'm fine with it not making the top 10. I would argue more for The Witch though in the top 10.
Which isn't on my top 10, but it's definitely an honorable mention. I'm totally happy to have it down at 9 or 8 or whatever. That's fine. And then we have to have an Eggers if we're trying to honor A24.
We don't have to.
I agree, but like A24 would be like, come on, man, you don't have an Eggers on the A24 list. That's our whole thing.
Lighthouse is not aging well. People are turning on the Lighthouse. Northman was a miss.
Fuck The Witch. Let's put Green Room on it instead.
Green Room or Green Knight?
Green Room.
All right.
I'm saying
I like that.
Yeah, okay, great.
Right,
I love Green Room.
Green Room is a number 9.
Okay, I love Green Room.
Yeah,
dude.
Green Room is great.
It's so good. Patrick Stewart?
Dude, Patrick Stewart.
This movie's scary as shit.
Who's the actor that was in Blue Ruin?
Oh,
who like
yeah, Blue
doesn't
Ruin,
look like he should be in hyper-violent movies and isn't only hyper-violent movies? I gotta think of this guy's name because he needs a shout out. Macon Blair. Blair, an incredible character actor, does great work in Green Room. Anton Yelchin, R.I.P.
Oh man.
The
movie's awesome. I'm so glad it's on the list.
All right, Green Room.
Thrilled.
All right, that's amazing. All right, so The Witch is going to end up being an honorable mention, I think.
Yes.
All right, we need some more sort of moonlighty movies. We need some more like prestige drama, not prestige drama, but like drama, a little bit slower movies for adults, baby. We need some movies for adults on here.
Now it's time to talk Reichert.
Let me give you Reichert and Celine Song's Past Lives, which was one of the sort of A24. I thought A24's best movie last year, or Zone of Interest. So I've got like I'd like to argue for Showing Up or Past Lives somewhere on here. New movies that came out last year by female directors that absolutely stand up to pretty much everything else in the top 20, I would say.
Out of all of that, personally, I like Showing Up the most. But I know you stand for Past Lives.
I loved Showing Up. I loved
Showing Up is incredible.
I loved Showing Up. Yeah.
Do we like it better than First Cow?
Yes. For me, yes.
So me too.
Yeah.
And First Cow's really good.
First Cow's so good.
Because Kelly Reichert never made a bad movie.
We were talking about the
best.
We're talking about the absolute best movies of the last 20 years.
Okay, all right, dude. Showing Up at 8. That's
Showing
badass.
Up at 8.
Yeah,
great.
good. Showing Up is fucking amazing.
So
I'm proud of our list right now.
All right, here we got 2 slots. We don't have a Glazer yet, and we were talking about maybe
both.
Putting 2.
Put them both, Brett. Both.
It feels right.
Zone 7, Under the Skin 4.
Yeah, it feels right.
Yes,
it feels right.
Yes. This list is amazing.
It feels really good.
We thought we were going to have a big
this is
fight.
Good. No, we've made
this
up.
Is our best
we made
list.
Up.
we
made
up.
Okay. Under the Skin. Okay.
This is the list.
This is the list. This is the definitive list.
This is the list.
This is the definitive list. Oh, and even for my OCD, this is perfect because I was worried Uncut Gems and Under the Skin were going to be side by side, and that's 2 you movies side by side.
No, I don't want you wearing that.
This is perfect. This is perfect. All right.
Great.
Okay. So
notable. There's no Yorgos on this fucking list. We didn't even mention the Lobster. The movie stinks. Okay, here we go, Brett.
Did you see he's already churning out another one?
Yeah. Do you want?
Emma Stone dancing funny in a pantsuit. You have no ideas left.
Kinds of kindness. All right, do you want me to read the list?
Yes, please.
Number 10, Dick's the Musical.
Love it.
Number 9, Green Room. Number 8, Showing Up. Number 7, The Zone of Interest. Number 6, Midsommar. Number 5, Moonlight. Number 4, Under the Skin. Number 3, The Florida Project. Number 2, Uncut Gems. And the number 1 greatest A24 movie of all time, Harmony Korine's Spring Breakers.
Yep, that's it. That's definitive.
That's actually
definitive. A24 should etch that in marble and put it in their front lobby.
I know we're the host, but I agree with our list 100%.
I'm surprised at how good it is. I was worried I was going to look at it and be like, I'd be like,
oh, fuck.
Well, I didn't, because here's what's great about it.
Yeah.
I'm looking at all of my honorable mentions.
No, I'm not worried about
None of them are bothering me.
Sure, it's like,
none of
them
are bothering
I like
me.
a little movie a little bit and you like a movie? Sure. But I can live with this list for the rest of my life. This list is
absolutely
perfect.
Can I really quickly shout out a couple honorable mentions?
Yeah,
I'm
me
not
too.
Gonna even,
go for it.
Let me just shout out a couple.
Rattle them off.
These are some really great movies that are not top 10 caliber, but are absolutely worth watching if you haven't seen them yet.
Yes.
And I'm gonna do some I'm gonna do some like
just toss, Brett.
some deeper cuts
me
here.
Too.
You know all the big ones. You know Hereditary, etc. Amy, the Amy Winehouse documentary is fucking fantastic. I know everyone's throwing a fit about the new one that's coming out. It's probably not going to be good. Although that actor is incredible. She's in Industry on HBO. I don't blame her, and I hope she doesn't get a lot of flack for it because I'm sure she's going to kill it. But the movie seems like it might be a miss. But what's not a miss? The documentary Amy by A24. Enemy by our guy Denis Villeneuve, the Jake Gyllenhaal movie. Very cool doppelganger movie, very low budge with an incredible sort of like gut punch final shot that comes out of nowhere. You know what I forgot was A24 that I really liked, I've seen a couple times, is Obvious Child. Jenny Slate's Obvious Child to me.
One of my wife's favorite
is
movies.
A very,
ever.
very is just a perfect raunchy rom-com character study thing that is like really, really funny and full of heart, and is not obsessed with, has the sort of touch of a more experienced filmmaker, and that it is not obsessed with like getting to some big climax or having some big sort of moment. It's like it plays out so naturally and beautifully, and it's funny though. It's kind of amazing. I remember liking A Most Violent Year a lot. It's not great.
No, but it's definitely like it's Thursday night. It's 8 p.m.
Yeah.
I have Chinese food.
That's it.
Toss on A Most
That's it.
Violent
It's
Year.
not a masterpiece by
you.
any stretch. It has a lot of flaws, but that's one you toss on when you're just looking for a movie.
Isaac and Chastain were at the height of their powers then too.
Yep.
That movie is fun. It's a fun watch.
That's it. And last but not least, have you ever seen Mississippi Grind?
Nope.
Dude, Mississippi Grind is fun as fuck.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds and oh my god, the actor that's so good, that's in so many things. Hold on a second, I'm so sorry. Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool himself, and Ben Mendelsohn.
Oh, Mendelsohn's
as these
the best.
Ryan Reynolds and Ben Mendelsohn as like down on their luck gamblers going for one big score. Dude,
what?
Talk about throwing on a movie on a Thursday night when you're having like dinner. Mississippi Grind is the shit. It's really, really good. It's not going to be top 10 for me, but I wanted to shout it out.
I love that.
Yeah.
A couple quick shout outs. Got to shout out Slow West, amazing movie. Got to shout out Owen Klein's Funny Pages is a newer A24 offering. Want to shower some love there. Shower some love, of course, to Rose Glass and her masterpiece Saint Maud. And then it has to be said, because I'm a freak for it, we love you, Priscilla. It's such a fucking great movie. Of course, you're on my top 10 A24 of all time lists.
Wow. They should you should get some sort of like punch card for how much you mentioned Priscilla. Some sort of like best customer of the year for Priscilla.
Customer of the year.
No one has given Priscilla more love than Joe. Put it down. Put it on paper.
Love it.
Margot, we're going to do those indie picks real quick now. I just wanted to shout out, if you're going to the cinema this weekend or over the next week or so, of course, see Monkey Man, which Joe and I both loved. But here's a couple indie picks that you might want to check out that might be playing in your area, or if not, they might be coming there soon. The first one is The People's Joker. The People's Joker, co-written and directed by Vera Drew. This is a movie we've been waiting for forever because it was made in 2022. Very low budget, looks like mostly made like in Adobe Creative Suite, one of those movies, but in the best way possible. It was made in 2022. But did not come out because freaking Warner Brothers did a whole cease and desist. We're going to send the lawyers at you because it plays around with all of these Gotham City, DC, Batman characters. They literally did a cease and desist. We're going to shut you down. But it wound its way through the legal proceedings and it finally came out. There's a big disclaimer at the beginning about fair use, et cetera, et cetera. I don't give a shit. All I care is that this movie finally came out and it's great. It's so much fun. It has a very Tim and Eric aesthetic. I think Vera Drew actually worked under Tim for a while, and Tim's in the movie. Very Tim and Eric aesthetic, but this really brilliant, hilarious, like savagely funny. Not since like Dix the Musical has a movie been like just this like funny throughout the whole movie. Very, very funny and creative use of the Gotham City Batman mythology as a way of telling a trans person's story. And specifically, it's so funny because it's this just sort of surreal, just like the darkest dark comic version of Batman, where Batman like Alex Jones sort of comes in and out of the movie, and like there's all these like fake TV shows. There's one called Suicide Cop, and Alex Jones is asking Batman to show up and like beat up trans people. Like the whole like DC, you get why Warner Brothers didn't want this to come out, because Vera Drew perfectly takes the Batman mythology and turns it on its head, where the Joker, and she becomes the Joker because Scarecrow, the Scarecrow doctor, what's that, Dr. Crane, right, from the movies, is like a gay conversion therapy doctor. And so when Vera Drew's character like tries to come out as trans early on in her life, her mom takes her to Scarecrow, and they like pump nitrous into her and all this stuff, and then she like becomes the Joker through that process by like this doctor trying to like do gay conversion therapy. So it is this absolutely just brilliant, mind-bogglingly crazy, manic, hallucinatory telling of what is at heart a very thoughtful and heartfelt story of Vera Drew coming out as a trans person, but through this incredibly twisted version of the Batman mythology. It's absolutely fantastic. It's so funny and crazy. You can't believe, like, it was funny because in 2022 I was like, fuck Warner Brothers, they're trying to cease and desist, and you watch it and it's like, oh, she's like goes so, she does not, I have not seen a movie give less of a fuck. It is like, it is wild. It is wild. Literally, there is there's like a reoccurring there's a lot of shows within the show or movies within the movie, and her version of SNL is called UCB, and it stars Senator Al Franken. Like there is so much shit like that just comes flying fast and furious at you, and it is just it's fantastic, and I hope a lot of people go see it. It came out in New York and LA the past 2 weekends, and then it's expanding to over 60 theaters all over North America in the upcoming weeks.
Come on, North America.
So go online, go to alternateinnocence.net/The-People's-Joker to find if there's a screening in your area. But I'm begging you people, Monkey Man and The People's Joker, go see him, because we need more movies like this. I also wanted to quickly shout out a documentary called Kim's Video by director David Redman. Kim's Video also is in limited release now, but hopefully it's going to get a wider release, or I'm sure you can get on demand soon enough. Kim's Video was a very popular underground beloved video store in on the Lower East Side of Manhattan, in the East Village. Are those the same thing? Okay, yeah, in the East Village. And so Kim's Video, they're not the same thing. It's in the East Village. East Village. So it was they call it the headquarters of cool. It's where you could get all of these like super underground cult movies, like tons of VHS before VHS went through this renaissance. Alex Ross Perry, the director, worked there when he was young. You're gonna want to watch it with a pen and paper handy, because it's just throwing incredible movies at you. It sort of like the director tells the story through clips from movies that he rented there, which is very cool. And there's a bit of a detective story in terms of where like the Kim's Video collection went to after Kim's Video went under. So it's amazing. It's from Draft House Films, which is, I guess, Alamo's imprint, Alamo Draft House imprint. So you can it opened in New York April 5th, LA in April 5th, and then it's expanding to select cities nationwide starting April 10th. So that was last weekend. So check out drafthousefilms.com for ticketing information. But I had an absolute blast watching both The People's Joker and Kim's Video. Just like these are the kind of, like, I don't give a fuck about that Nicole Kidman AMC ad. These are the kind of movies that make me believe in the power of movies. Kim's Video and The People's Joker. Check them out.
I have a lot to say about the Nicole Kidman AMC ad, but we're going to save it for next week's Movies Baby.
Can't wait.
Folks, we do hope after this program, if you're watching live, that you come on over to the Patreon. We're going to be doing Weekend at Bergman's, the show where we pit an art house movie against a popcorn flick.
What's tonight?
Tonight we're doing The Limey, Steven Soderbergh's The Limey, versus Michael Mann's The Insider.
Wow, our 1999 series rolls on with two heavyweights.
Two absolute heavyweights.
I don't know. I honestly don't know what I'm going to choose. I haven't decided.
They're
yet.
awesome movies, folks. Come over and let's keep talking flicks. God bless you. God bless Who's America? Remember Civil War? And we'll see you next week.
Bye.